Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to round 3 of the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup for Velocity on iRacing. We are here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the third round of the championship. Week 2 of the Cup starts here tonight. Of course, tomorrow we have the race at Charlotte Motor Speedway coming up. But first, of course, the most important one of them all probably is Indianapolis. It doesn't mean much in the Christmas Cup, but still winning at Indianapolis is one of the most wanted things for all drivers. So 60 lapper up ahead for us tonight, as I'm actually quickly getting ready my camera stuff as well, because I got here a little bit late, but here we are at Indianapolis. Let's quickly have a quick look at the oval. There you can see it, 4 turns of course as pretty usual, with the exception of course being Pocono, which we ran earlier in the season, but 4 turns banked at 9.2 degrees, the straights 0 degrees of banking, 2.5 miles is the track length, and of course it's a rectangle shape. Then super speedway track type, and then the 60 mile per hour speed limit, which is actually going to be quite tricky for the drivers here tonight, because this car really doesn't like the brakes. So yeah, we have the same or a similar fuel mileage number as Pocono with 35 laps instead of 34, because simply you're going to be lifting a little bit more around this place than you are at Pocono, which sounds weird at first, but the DTR around this track is a little bit more significant than at the Pocono Raceway. So then we're going to look at the Drivers' Championship top 10. Thomas Geisler leads the way by 4 points over Oscar Fredriksson. Shane Guggen sits 10 points behind the leader in the third position, of course. Gary Gutso right behind him. And he was actually quite proud on Twitter, sitting in front of Alex van der Zandt, so hopefully for him that he can keep that going. 2 points clear of Alex. Then we have Jan Hoffman, who missed round 2 last week in the 6th position. Of course, he won at Pocono. Then we have Matt Hummel in 7th position with Dakota DeMate, Sebastian Kinder and Dan Morera rounding off the top 10 in the points standings. Of course, the 2 winners last week, Jan Hoffman at Pocono, as I just mentioned, and also Thomas Geisler at Phoenix in round 2. So now we're going to look at the 2021 Christmas Cup schedule. Of course, we had Pocono and Phoenix last week. Tonight we have Indianapolis, tomorrow in Charlotte. And then on Thursday, this upcoming Thursday we have Nashville, and then the final race of the season at Auto Club Speedway on the 2nd of January. And now we're going to move over into the 2005 series schedule. It's about time we brought this one up. So starting on the 8th, 6 days after the Christmas Cup finale at Homestead Miami Speedway, is a 300-kilometer event, 125 laps. Then the week after that we have Phoenix, which we ran last week in the Christmas Cup. And the week after that we go back to Indianapolis, where we are right now. Then we have a week off until Texas, Richmond the week after that, and then Nashville before another break. And then we return to Michigan, and we finish off the season at Kentucky, Iowa, which is a substitute for Pikes Peak, and Auto Club Speedway, which is, well, a traditional finale round or opening round in the Velocity Online Racing League. So that about wraps it up. It's time to bring up all the good information for you guys. So we've removed the warm-up session from this league, so we're gonna dive straight into the race. So we'll bring up the starting grid right away as the drivers are wrapping up their qualifying efforts. As there you can see the starting grid, Craig Forsyth has clinched the pole in front of Shane Coogan. That's going to be row 1, and look at that margin between Craig Forsyth and Shane Coogan, 0.005 of a second. Jan Hoffman, Oscar Fredrickson row 2, Dan Morera and Lewis Woodall row 3, Brandon Dollar and Thomas Geiser is going to be row 4, with row 5 being Sepp Kinder and Alex van der Zandt once again not setting a lap time. Cameron Boustian P11, Gary Gotzo P12, and Gary is going to do the Gary God strat. I already know that because he is starting from the back. Charles Baldwin starts from P13. So, we're gonna get ready for the race here. I'll be right back because I gotta advance the session. So, in the meantime, we have a quick word from Apex Age Coaching, which is the sponsor of the Classic Christmas Cup. So we'll be right back in about a minute.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Age Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at ApexAgeCoach.
Alright, we're back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Of course, check out Apex Age Coaching, like you just saw on the screen, at Apex Age Coach on Twitter. Of course, Isaac sponsors Velocity Online Racing's main IndyCar series and also the Euro series going into next season. So I want to thank him once again for doing that. He's been great supporting us as a league. But the cars are gridding up, getting ready to go for 150 miles of racing here at Indianapolis. Bit of miscommunication going on. I had some other people that were supposed to advance the session, but apparently that didn't get through, so I had to do it myself. But that's completely fine. As we are about to get this show on the road. As the pace car pulls off. So, like I mentioned, Craig Forsyth on the pole with Shane Coogan alongside him on row 2. We'll go over the starting grid one more time. Row 2 is Oscar Fredrickson and Jan Hoffman, who is returning after missing the second race last weekend. Lewis Woodall and Dan Morera on row 3. Thomas Geisler and Brandon Dollar on row 4. Then we've got Alex van der Zandt, the first car who didn't set a lap time, and Sebastian Kinder also on row 5. Row 6 is Gary Gotzo, Cameron Boustian and Charles Baldwin on P13, the final row. There you can see him just in the background, the final car on that row. See you tomorrow, Patrick. So, of course, as always, if you want to make a comment, have a question, or just want to say hi even, feel free to put something in chat. I'll be sure to interact a little bit with you guys, of course, focusing on the race primarily, but also always happy to chat as well. And let me get rid of this all. We don't need these ugly lights on the screen, do we? Gavin in the chat, go Team VOR. Why are you not racing, my guy? We need you on the grid. So yeah, it is Craig Forsyth and Shane Coogan on the front row as the pace car makes its way around turn 4. Will we see a different winner compared to last week? Of course, Jan Hoffman and Thomas Geisler won last weekend. Let's see who it's going to be today. As the pace car pulls in, Craig Forsyth dictates the pace until the green flag is flown by iRacing. There we go, we're underway.
Green, green, green.
From the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As they're going single file already up at the front. Actually, never mind that, because Jan Hoffman is working around Oscar Fredriksson, goes around the outside there. Very nice move already at the start of the race, up into P3. So going to turn 3 for the first time. Now, ideally you want to make a move into turns 1 and 3. And not in turns 2 and 4, like Jan just did, but he's already closing up to the back of Shane Coogan.
Nice save.
Jan's got plenty of experience running at this big speedway. Of course, he ran this in the classic IndyCar series not too long ago as well, about a month I would say, month and a half, as Craig Forsyth and Shane Coogan battling for the race lead right now, going side by side. And Craig holds his ground on the outside as Jan Hoffman is almost getting passed by Oscar Fredriksson on the inside line. As Oscar still holds the inside line and is actually able to hold it quite comfortably. Excuse me. So we might be looking at a little bit of a pack race here at Indianapolis, which could be the case because the temperatures are actually a little bit cooler than they normally are in our official leagues. Of course, this is the Christmas Cup. It's not as serious as Lewis Woodall was actually racing with Oscar Fredriksson as well, as he makes a very neat move around the outside of turn 1. In his controversial livery. Hopefully we don't have to show him too much. But yeah, we're just running at 69 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 21 Celsius. And don't ask me why we're running that temperature, please. As Gary Gotso is dropping to the back, with Charles Baldwin moving up into P11. And actually, let me bring up the timing tower. I forgot to do that. Apologies. Thank you, Lily. That was one of the more difficult drives I've had in a while. It was a very hectic pack race at Michigan, that was. Gavin's in Louisiana. Okay, just bring your laptop, dude. Shane Coogan to the inside. Gonna have a look around Craig Forsyth. And Jan Hoffman is... Oh, that got really close between himself and Shane Coogan there. Why is SDK not opening again? There it is. Just had to refresh the overlay. Play the technical difficulties theme by The Simpsons. Alright, I'll stop. So 5 laps in the book already, and Craig Forsyth from the pole still leads from Shane Coogan and Jan Hoffman. That's the top 3. Lewis Woodall moves up into 4th position, with Oscar Fredriksson running off the top 5. As Jan Hoffman is going to have a look down the inside for Shane Coogan here for position. As Shane enters high, and Jan Hoffman takes the race, not the race lead, takes P2. There he is. Looking from the back of the Vortex Racing machine. Quite the powerhouse. And the classic IndyCar series as Lewis Woodall. Yes, he just hit the wall and that's a big flip for the NASCAR car. Wow, okay. Let's roll some more. Okay, hello, stop. Yes, thank you. So Lewis Woodall, the first car out of the race. Let's take a look at what happened to him. I'm actually going to go a little bit further back ourselves here. Apologies. SDK usually nails the replay moment, but not this time. Just way up in the grey, hits the wall, gets collected by another car, which I can't tell who that was. It might have been Demerara, and yes, it was. So Dan, running a different livery compared to last week, doesn't end in the best of ways for him. As Gary, with the Gary God strat, drives by him in his updated livery. Now, I do have a message on Discord regarding this paint, so I will bring that up in just a moment. But first, because we are under caution, let's have a lovely word from our sponsor, because yes, this league is based in the United States and we need sponsorship money to run this league. So we'll be right back after this word from Apex Age Coaching.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Back here at Indy for round 3 in the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup, we have 3 takers for pit road, which are Shane Coogan, Brandon Dollar, and Alex van der Sand. So remember, the fuel window is about 35 laps. So really, it would have been a one-stop either way, but these guys just want to go into the pits, top off on fuel, and go a little bit longer than everybody else. Remember that Craig Forsyth and all the guys, to Gary Gotso, have stayed out. So they will be coming into the pit effectively 7 laps earlier, because we are under lap 8 now, under caution. So Van der Sand, Coogan and Dollar have about 7 laps of fuel over the rest of the field, which, if the caution flies at the right time, could actually move them up to the front again. So that's the thought process behind that. If you've watched my co-commentaries with Trevor Greenfield on the virtualracing.network before for the Prime Meridian Racing League, you know that I love talking about strategies. So there you go. We got the first strategy talk of the night in already. Alex van der Sand, by the way, coming off the back of a championship, not only in our own Velocity Online Racing IndyCar main series last season, but also in the Elite Racing League. Last night at Gateway he clinched the title. I was actually supposed to be in that race, but I decided to go to bed instead, so doesn't take anything away though from the other race. Alex is a great competitor, very intelligent driver as well. He knows when to attack and when not to, and of course that mainly showed in VOR too, because we have so many pack races on these big ovals. So yeah, he's a driver that uses his head, and it shows, because he wins championships. So congratulations to Alex van der Sand, of course, and his team behind, with AJ Musselman and Kirk Forsyth, I believe, running on the same team as him in that league. So I want to congratulate them on the impressive season over there too. Let's take a look at the pace car lights, and they are out, so we are going to get back to green flag racing here in just a moment. It's good to see 2 people watching the stream at the moment. Hopefully we can bump that number up a little bit more. Of course, feel free to share the stream with your friends, perhaps teammates racing in this race that you want to share the link with, you know. Just get the number up. The other day when I broadcasted the Prime Meridian Racing League finale from Watkins Glen on their channel, we had about 10 viewers, which was actually the most viewers I've ever had on a broadcast that I did myself. Which you will think sounds kind of sad, but it was actually quite cool, so... So here we go again for take 2 of the Indianapolis 150-mile race. So it's Craig Forsyth in the lead, Jan Hoffman P2, Oscar Fredriksson P3, fourth is Thomas Geisel, the championship leader, with Sepp Kinder running off the top 5. And here we go.
Green flag,
Up through the gears again for the restart here at Indy. And look at the jump that Craig Forsyth has already got on Jan Hoffman. It's about half a second going into turn 1. Of course, now the drive will kick in, so Jan Hoffman will be able to close back up again. But at least for the first lap or two, it will give Craig a little bit of breathing space. As we look in the midfield here, Alex van der Sande trying to make a move around Charles Baldwin. That's Cameron Boustin, sorry. So Alex van der Sande, Shane Coogan and Brandon Dollar, the first cars to pit. So they are on a slightly different strategy compared to everyone else. As Cameron is losing a little bit of momentum. As Thomas Geisler is having some connection issues, so don't be scared when he falls down the timing tower. He's still racing, just having some technical issues. As Alex van der Sande is almost bum drafting Cameron Boustin into turn 3. Let's quickly shift to the battle for the race lead though. There's a top 3. Oh my goodness, this is close. It was almost like these three went bum drafting each other. So Jan Hoffman to the inside of Craig Forsyth. And Craig with the outside momentum pulls clear again through the short chute into turn 2 with Oscar Fredriksson right there to pounce as well. And in the meantime, Alex van der Sande did draw back a little bit compared to Cameron Boustin. As Jan Hoffman goes to the inside again. As we go on board with Oscar Fredriksson. Great view on board for the battle for the race lead just up in front. As Craig Forsyth is going to lead lap 13. Top speed for Jan Hoffman, 388 kilometers per hour. I'm not sure what that is in miles, but I don't think anybody in chat really uses that anyway, so we don't need to bring it up in the first place, right? Sorry, Gavin, by the way. I didn't see that message earlier. Happy holidays to you as well, my friend. Oscar removed the wireframes. Yes, he did. In the meantime, though, Jan Hoffman to the inside. Craig Forsyth still gonna hold it around the outside. He's basically doing what I did at Michigan the other day in ESRA, just riding the middle to a high line. As I think Jan Hoffman pressed the wall there, and just made the guy on the inside eat up his tires. And hold on to your position that way. If it works, it works though. Oh, Craig Forsyth got a little bit loose out of turn 4 there. So Jan Hoffman now gonna look to the inside again.
Another nice save.
As somebody's made a nice save according to Alex over voice chat. I forgot to mute that, apologies. I'll do that under the next yellow. As Craig Forsyth once again gets pretty close to the wall. Oh, Jan Hoffman spins out of turn 2.
Caution, yellow flag.
Just saw his car wiggle there, overcorrected the car and it slid right into the wall. That's exactly what happened, but still let's bring up a replay as the whole field goes by. So look at this. Count is steering the car and he's sliding all the way through turn 2. You can see his steering wheel. So slides right into the wall right there, and that's suspension damage. And oh, this is going to be a hard one to the inside. Oof. Jeez. I think it's safe to say that Jan Hoffman is done for today. Oh, Shane Coogan. Oh, Shane Coogan, my guy. Oof. Hold on, we gotta go back a little bit further.
Checking up.
Look at this. So Shane Coogan in the blue car
I
flies
don't know if
through the
anybody can
shot.
see if I have
Right.
damage
Oh
outside.
my goodness. So that's 3 extremely close
No, you look
calls
good,
in
Shane.
the Christmas Cup, and these guys are annoying me. So I'll be right back, and I'm gonna mute the voice chat. All right, there we go. Just like that, we're done. But Shane Coogan needs a new pair of underwear ASAP, I would imagine. Oh my gosh. I actually had one of those close saves myself as well, and I gotta be careful that I don't use a bad word here. I almost pooped myself when it happened to me, as Craig Forsyth was trying to fake everybody, but he doesn't manage to do so, I think. Or everybody was gonna pit anyway, it doesn't really matter. As the whole field now comes down into the pits, except those that pitted earlier. Shane Coogan is the first car in line to do that. Alex Vandersen gonna move up the queue as well, I would imagine, unless he pits again with everybody. Which he does not. So everybody into the pits. Race off pit road. Oscar, yes, Oscar's gonna beat Craig Forsyth out of the pits, who drops to P3 on the track, of course, when we go green, because Coogan stayed out. But Dollar up to 4th now. Great round of pit stops by Brandon Dollar to move up into 4th position. He's up 3 from where he started, just like Thomas Geisler and Sebastian Kinder. Charles Baldwin, the biggest mover at the moment in the Van Halen livery, up 6. Yes, Lily, Shane got incredibly lucky on that one. It reminds me so much of the save that involved Fredrickson and Gotso last week at Phoenix, the 2 teammates. Well, indirect teammates, because there's no teams in this championship specifically, but Oscar spun just in front of Gary too, and he just flew by as well, just a few millimeters between them. Of course, you've got netcode on iRacing too, so that's always a bit scary too. So we have 1 lap until the green flag, so you guessed it, commercial break.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Alright, back here at Indy as the field makes its way around turn 2. Let's quickly take a look at the championship standings going into this round. We of course covered this at the start of the show, but let's bring it up again. So, Thomas Geisler leads it by 4 points over Oscar Fredrickson going into this event. And as it stands, Shane Coogan is gonna take over that position, with Oscar Fredrickson in the 2nd position in the championship standings, and Thomas Geisler will drop to 3rd as it stands. Of course, Jan Hoffman, who won the first race. Of course, what just happened now isn't really too great for his championship aspirations, but it has to be mentioned there is 1 drop week, which actually never mind, because that one was used last week at Phoenix for Jan Hoffman. So it's not going to be a great outlook for Jan Hoffman going into the rest of the season. So Shane Coogan will lead his first laps here tonight. Of course, we saw him battle with Craig Forsyth earlier on in the race, who is now in P3. Of course, he lost the on strategy the race lead to Oscar Fredrickson, as Oscar got a very nice jump in the pits and moved himself up into P2. But pace car gonna pull into the pits. Shane Coogan Of course, as always, the race leader dictates the pay. Oh, Oscar into the wall. More cars going into the wall. As
The yellow
Shane
flag is
Coogan
out.
still leads, but the caution right back out again for an incident on the restart. And that's the thing with this car. First gear is really long, and also the engine boost kicks in right as you get up to speed, and it's only in first gear, which makes it the worst car for oval restarts in the world. So a little bit more manageable on road courses though, because you have the big downforce levels, but not so much on the ovals, as you can imagine. Look at those rear wings. So let's bring up a replay to see what happened there, but multiple cars went into that wall. Hello? Alright, let's bring this up at normal speed. So Shane Coogan got some oversteer. A wheel spin, I should say. Caught the car. Oscar Fredrickson, the same thing. He actually just brushed the wall a little bit. And then you can see Craig Forsyth going into the wall, as well as... Who is that? I can't tell who that was. The grey... sorry, the silver car? Who is that even? I cannot tell. It's not Gary. Oh. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh at this, but this... I have this this song in my head where, you know, it sounds and looks so funny as the voice crack. But Dan Morera into the wall. Gary Gotso just drives by like the gangster he is. Alex Van der Sand also drives by. I really shouldn't laugh at this, but it just looks so funny. So let's bring up another angle. As the entire field just shoots through the middle. Demerara actually clips Craig Forsyth, so his day is going to be done because his car literally flipped into the air. As Gary Gosso, the last car into the shot, just casually drives by. So that's going to leave multiple cars into the pits. Thomas Geisler, Oscar Fredrickson, of course, he's got some damage to repair. As it's happening right now. So Cameron Baustian got some minor damage repaired, as well as Thomas Geisler moves up into P5 again, with Cameron Baustian in P6. And in all of that, the top 4 is Shane Coogan still. Of course, he led coming to the green on the last restart. Charles Baldwin into P2. Alex Van der Sand, P3. Again, he also got quite loose there, coming to the restart. And Gary Gotso, the maestro of his own strategy, the Gary Gott strat, keeping the car clean. And that results in him driving in the top 5 at the moment, with Thomas Geisler right behind him, as he is going for the 2021 Christmas Cup Championship. Patrick, I kind of don't want to say this, but at this point, even the Euro Series is cleaner. I wouldn't go as far that it was the worst restart ever, but in VOR I think it sure was. Actually, I know that Phoenix Season 1 in the main series has some pretty bad restarts. I actually remember one car getting punted into... coming across the start-finish line in that race. That was, of course, back when we first started organizing IndyCar leagues. All the way back in Season 1. Oh my gosh. That's like a year and a half ago now. But it definitely wasn't a great look for sure, I agree. Bottom split Indy 500 in an alternate universe. I think that sounds about right, to be honest. You said nothing. Okay, you said nothing. I did propose to be... I'm supposed to be a... Wait, English? Hello? I am supposed to be a professional commentator, but this is the Christmas Cup. Anything goes. If I throw a bad word, of course I try not to, but if it does happen, I won't feel very sorry, I have to say. I will apologize, because I have to, but I won't really care if I'm honest. I didn't really care last time, I just cringed at myself. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go back to the F1 League in season 1 at Imola. It's post-race. I said the F-bomb there. It was when I first started out broadcasting my own league though, so that's my excuse behind it. I'm a lot more experienced now. So pace car gonna make its way around turn 4 once again. Let's see if we can actually get this race going again, because it proved to be very troublesome last time. So Shane Coogan leads from Charles Baldwin, P2, Alex Van der Sant, P3, Thomas Geiser up into P4 with Cameron Bowser rounding off the top 5. As Shane Coogan gets us back going again at a little bit higher speed this time, so everybody not with as much wheel spin as before. And we are back on the way. Gary Gottsel pitted, by the way, so he is back down the order into P6. Field pretty far spread out at the moment. Seb Kinder down 2 laps in P9. Oscar Fredriksson shown us out, but I think he's just getting his damage repaired actually. So we might still see him out on track, just like a few of the other drivers. But at the moment though, showed us out Forsyth, Dollar, Hoffman and Woodall. Unlucky, my guy. Don't mind me taking a sip of my energy drink, by the way. Oh. I think I just heard Shane get out of the throttle a little bit. So the cars seem to be quite loose. If Jan Hoffman's incident is anything to go by. And I see that Dan Morera is off the pace. And he is driving a damaged car around. So Dan is just trying to drive around the track to get some more points for finishing the race. As he just went by Oscar Fredriksson there for position, so I think he's going to pull it off into the pits this lap. But Charles Baldwin starts to put on some pressure on Shane Coogan. Remember that we do have a few cars running around with damage. There's actually most of the field driving around. Cameron Bowstian got damaged, Thomas Geiser got damaged, Gary Gottsel got damaged. And of course Dan Morera got damaged. So basically the entire field, bar 3 cars, are damaged to a point where they can't really run at a decent speed anymore. So it's a 3-car show at the moment, with Charles Baldwin going for the lead here. Does have a look down the inside, but doesn't go for it properly. Oscar with the Spinella. Yeah, thanks Lily and Seb. I noticed when you were in chat that you were done. Oh, Shane Coogan steps out a little bit there. Charles Baldwin is going to go for the gap. To the inside for turn 3. Alex Van der Sant right behind. As Charles Baldwin moves into the lead. Shane Coogan about to get swallowed up by Alex Van der Sant now. Oh, Shane's... Oh my gosh, he is loose as something else. As Alex Van der Sant moves around him too. Oh yeah, he's way gone. Charles Baldwin with a nice save too there. He also stepped out a little bit. Oscar, if you can please tell me in chat, did I load the wrong setup or what? Because it looks incredibly loose and I do not remember it being this loose on the Classic IndyCar Series race when we ran it. It looks absolutely ridiculous to drive, to be honest. So glad I'm up here in the booth and not driving. So Thomas Geisler has just gone down 2 laps, so Shane Coogan at the moment on track to go to the championship lead with Alex van der Sand, who will move up quite a fair bit. And also Gary Gotso, by the way. Gary might find himself in 3rd place in the championship after this one. Of course, if he finishes this race. Now, as we have a car blinking out, Gary won't like me talking about this, but Gary very much has an Indianapolis curse. As Shane Coogan is blinking out. Hold on, let me check if he just disconnected. Doesn't show on my screen yet. Where is he? I think he just blinked out. Oh, Charles Baldwin with the save of the race at the moment. Alex van der Sand to the race lead and Charles Baldwin hanging on for dear life to not lose the car. Oh my, yeah, I'm so glad I'm not racing. Hold on, where's the replay? Thomas Geiser actually crashed too. Let's look at this one before we look at Charles Baldwin. As Thomas, yes. Oh my, yes. He actually caught the car but just ran out of room to really drive back onto the racing surface. He actually did an amazing job to not lose the car in terms of spinning. Just look at this. He actually corrects the car. You know, stabilizes the car, but now he slides into the wall and of course there's nowhere to go. So he just ran out of room there, but almost caught it. Very impressive from Thomas Geisler. As this is Charles Baldwin's save, just look at his counter steering 90 degrees as he catches it. And Alex drives around him. And at the moment he's got a 1.2 second lead over Charles Baldwin as well. So Alex pulling away. Let's see how his car is handling, because I know that Alex can really drive anything. If it's loose or pushing up, he can drive it. Which seems to be the case again. Oh, he's getting out of it. He knows that his car is wanting to step out. So he's lifting in all the corners basically. Just to take care of those tires a little bit more. This is actually insane. It actually hurts to look at the timing tower too. Just look at all the cars out of the race. So we have 4 cars still running in this race as my voice is cracking up again. Nice. Oh, Alex just got it again. Nice save. Actually, we have 5 cars running. Dan Morera running around just went by Shane Coogan to push him down into P6. Oh, this actually hurts so much. I'm sure it hurts Alex even worse because he's lifting at Indy. Lifting at Indy. A place you never lift. Lifting is a sign of weakness. I don't know what's happening to my voice. I might have caught COVID from my classmate. He was 10 meters away from me though, I don't know. This race is very weird indeed. It's, we've had better races in this week, I can tell you that much. It's not quite as bad as Richmond in the Reddit IndyCar League last year though, in the summer season. I think we had 17 cautions in that race. Good point, Patrick. So the Season 5 Main Series champ, making his way around Indy. We've been on board with him for a couple of laps, but sure manhandling this thing around. As Charles Baldwin is also really struggling with the rear end. I actually feel really bad for these guys. I'm gonna throw a competition caution. This is too painful.
The
Here we
yellow
go.
flag is out.
These guys have been suffering so much. I just couldn't do nothing. So let's hope that this will bring the field a little bit closer together. So the field gonna come down to pace car speed. I will be quickly going to commercial break for Apex Stage coaching, of course, once again. So I'll be right back with you guys.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Stage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Alright, here we are. Back at Indy. With 23 laps to go. So everybody will be given the chance to pit. And if they have any tires left, they can take them. Which is actually something I forgot about. Oops. So there's a tire limit in this Christmas Cup of 2 additional sets. So I hope for these leaders at least that they didn't use it yet. So they are going to come into the pits. Whether it's for tires or not, I don't know. We will find out in, well, a few seconds. As Charles Baldwin overshoots his pit box. So all the cars still running go by. And let me send a quick race control message to Gary. Gary? Is Gary here?
Yeah.
If you can, any cars that are a lap down or multiple laps down, please wave them by, because this is honestly really bad.
Shit, if I can wave them by.
Shane is the only one undead.
Gary, I'm gonna duck into the pits and let everyone by.
Right, there we go. So, any cars still running will be waved by, hopefully. was actually supposed to mute the game chat, but I forgot. So, yeah. We just heard Gary there. Imagine apologizing, though. For language. We don't need to do that. Oh, we actually do, but I just won't. So I believe Dan is still running 4 laps down, so he should be waved by. This is going to take a few laps to sort out, but at least it gives us the chance of getting a semi-decent race. Somebody just lighted up some nice fireworks, a nice shell. Nice. So yeah, this gives us the chance at least at a somewhat decent race, because this is not the proudest races, I have to admit.
Hang on, we're not going green. Not going
There
green.
you go, Gary extending the caution. You did almost beat Tim Patrick in the last race, Alex, that is. It's something you can actually be proud of. Because Alex really knows what he's doing, especially on the ovals. This guy has just an unbelievable amount of experience. From the top of my memory, what I know at least is in ERL, he's won the championship last night. In the NASCAR league that they run, he's also running for the championship 4. I think that is still going on. It might have already ended, I'm not sure. But he was going to the final race of the season, still in the championship hunt. He has won the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Main Series Championship in seasons 4 and 5, aka the last 2 seasons. I'm pretty sure he's also won iRacing's championship once. He's running in Lionheart Speedway, Lionheart IndyCar now as well, for Powerslide Motorsports. So this guy is running literally anywhere and winning. Just goes to show that he really does know what he's doing, in case you couldn't figure that out yet. Not sure what's going on at the moment as race control, but I think we're gonna go green. So we made an attempt at moving all the lap cars around, but I think Dan is still running around damaged, so it has little to no effect on the race to wave him by. So we will be going green again this time. I really hope you guys couldn't hear that, by the way. I was trying to not let my burp go, but oh well. So pace car into the pits. Let's try this again on fresh tires,
Green
I
flag,
assume,
green
for
flag.
everybody that is still running. And And we take the green flag once again with 19 laps to go at Indianapolis. Here you can see 4 cars behind Alex van der Sande still running. So from here it's going to be a new race effectively. Alex van der Sande leads from what you could argue is the new pole position, as Charles Baldwin closes up to the rear wing. Not close enough to make a move though, so he will have to wait a straightaway. It's not been the race that we've all been expecting, but let's hope that these last 18 laps make up for that. As Gary and Cameron Baustian in P3 and P4 are slowly dropping back, so they are for sure damaged. So it's a 2-horse race to the finish. 17 laps to go. Cameron Baustian going for his first win. Sorry, Charles Baldwin. I was looking at Cameron Baustian dropping back there on the timing screens. So Charles Baldwin going for his first win in the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup. So is Alex van der Sande, by the way. He got taken out at Phoenix from Netcode. Whether he would have won that race, we will never know. But it was won by Thomas Geisler. I don't think anybody will be happy with me on Discord after this race with the setup. I'm not sure why, but it's not been working the same way as it has been before. So Charles seems to be dropping back just a little bit. I think he just had a moment, which I didn't see because I was looking at my phone. So it's those damn phones, aren't they? So. Oh yes, Charles is getting out of it already. So these guys can do about 4 or 5 laps before the tires are gone. I'm really not sure why it's so loose, because I think it's just the race setup that we ran in CIS. And the conditions are much cooler around here tonight, so I'm not sure why it's this loose, to be honest. Or I might have done an oopsie. Seb, can you check for me if I accidentally loaded the call setup for the race? Because if I did, that explains it. Very much. As we still have half an hour to go in the session, which is always nice, of course, that the race will not be decided on time. So I promised I would talk about Gary's livery for a little bit. So I'm gonna try to do that right now. So his paint is based off the 1983 GL Joe Sky Striker XF14 Jet. That's a mouthful. Jet fighter, by the way. And Gary says it's quite possibly one of the best toys ever made. Now, I do not have a picture up on the screen, of course, because I didn't prepare that, but if you Google the 1983 GL Joe Sky Striker XF14, then you should be able to find it. So there you go. That's Gary's paint. As the cursed man from Indianapolis, you could say, is trying to drive it to the finish. Just like Cameron Baustian, who is on track, quite literally, for a podium. So 11 laps to go for Alexander Van der Sant. He doesn't like me when I pronounce his name completely like Alexander, so I just did it again. But there you go. So he's leading at Indy, and provided he doesn't lose it, which could happen at any point, even though it's unlikely with a driver of Alex caliber. It could happen, but if he doesn't, he is going to go to victory lane for the third time, mind you, in a row that we've ran here in either the main series or the Christmas Cup. He's won this race, the 300 miler, in season 4, season 5, of course, where he won the championship in, and also tonight, if he manages to pull this off. Oh! I did a major oops on the race setup. So, we've been running in the classic IndyCar series, which is one of the more prestigious leagues around, especially for this car. It's one of the best ones out there, which is broadcasted on RaceSpot, by the way. But so Team VOR has been racing in the Indy 500 a month and a half ago, and it's open setup. We've been building the setup. Well, I've been building the qual setup, and the guys have been building the race setup. And of course, we try out multiple versions, as Alex is really loose. And the setup that we were supposed to have was the latest version that was built for that race to use in here tonight as well. And of course, I made the mistake to use a older version. So, thanks for confirming that to me, Seb. I'm a big idiot. Well, at least I get to talk to new people this time. And if you know me personally at all, you know that I love talking to new people. Shakes no. No offense, by the way. I just don't like people generally. I guess call me introvert. I tried my best, Lily. I like the new profile picture, by the way. This race has, of course, been so interesting that you could even grab a cup of coffee and come back to the race results and nothing would have changed since the last, well, 30 laps or so. But anyways, let's bring up the remaining schedule for the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup. So, we've had Pocono, Phoenix and Indianapolis tonight. Tomorrow, on the 19th of December, of course, we go to the Charlotte Motor Speedway for 83 laps on the 1.5 mile cookie cutter oval, which is loved by NASCAR fans. Not so much by IndyCar fans, because we had a fatal accident there with, I believe, a track worker in the 90s. But of course, on iRacing we can run there virtually, and it's one of the better 1.5 mile tracks in my opinion. But then again, I have the same opinion on most tracks, like Matt Houston, my good friend, does. Good tracks and bad race. Good tracks make bad racing, and bad tracks make good racing. So, yeah, the pit exit at Charlotte is really bumpy, by the way. So look for some cars to spin on the apron. But the racing product should be incredible. I built the setup for all the tracks on the Christmas Cup, and there is a very big rear wing on it. Let's see, like a lot of downforce on the rear. and it will make a very big pack race. So yeah, that's coming up tomorrow, as I kind of got lost in myself there, talking about Charlotte, sorry. But then we have 4 days off until Nashville, and then we have about a week and a half until Autocross Speedway, the final race of the season. So that's the schedule for the Christmas Cup. Let's quickly go over the 2005 schedule, starting at Homestead on January the 8th, then going to Phoenix, Indianapolis, Texas, Richmond, Nashville, Michigan, Kentucky, Iowa, which is a substitute for Pikes Peak, and Autocross Speedway, as Alex van der Zandt almost lost it again. Oops. Oh yes, Alex is getting out of it completely through turns 3 and 4, especially in turn 4. Daytona is a good track though, Sam. Nice, Lily. Oh, Alex almost lost it again out of turn 4. He's got 2 laps to go. He just needs to keep it on the track. That's all he has to do. He's got a 12-second lead. Don't push it too much, Alex. Come on, you've got this one in the bag. Let's go on board from the cockpit with Alex van der Zandt. Makes it through turn 3 okay this time. Turn 4 has been the scary place for him. Actually a lot better than the last 2 times. He did get a little bit loose, but much better than the lap before. So white flag is out for Alex van der Zandt, on track to win at Indianapolis, which will be the 3rd different winner in the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup, powered by Apex Age Coaching. Seb, sure, you can. Just make sure that you keep the language nice, of course. Not that you would say any bad words, but just in case. Just a kind of reminder. But out of turn 4, Alex van der Zandt overcomes all the difficulties with the setup and the tires and everything that went around the setup. He wins the Indianapolis round in the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup. His 3rd straight win in any of the VOR series. Winning in the Indy 300 in seasons 4 and 5, and also in the Christmas Cup tonight. So, congratulations to Alexander van der Zandt, which is his full official name. And he wins what was, quite frankly, a bit of a meme race, to be honest. So let's wait for Gary Godsett to cross the line. And we will quickly go over the race results as Gary crosses the line right there. So we will go over the race results and then we'll bring in Seb Kinder to talk about the situation of tonight's race. So here we go. And apologies for the wrong track name, by the way. I forgot to update that because I'm big dum-dum. But Alex van der Zandt wins 13.8 seconds in front of Charles Baldwin. It is his first ever podium in VOR history, regardless of series. So congratulations to him as well as Cameron Boustian. Same thing for him, really. Just about finished on the lead lap too. So congratulations to the top 4 as well for finishing with Gary. Actually, that was Gary almost going a lap down there. Apologies, but Cameron with a podium as well. Dan Morera finishes 7 laps down, but still finishes in P5. Shane Coogan, the first retirement of the race officially, P6. Thomas Geisler, Oscar Fredriksson, Seb Kinder, and Craig Forsyth, the top 10. And then we have Brandon Dollar, Jan Hoffman, and Lewis Woodall. So let's go to Discord, bring in Seb Kinder, so he can talk about tonight's beautiful events. Seb Kinder is in the broadcast booth. There you go. Alright, Seb, just give me 1 quick second to turn up your volume. There you go. So talk about the race for us, the viewers, please.
Okay, so first things first, there are two kind of races in iRacing. Concerning the setups, you have open setup, you do whatever you do with the setup, it's your choice, and you have fixed setup, which means it locks a bunch of options to do on the setups. Usually, in what we know for the IR18, the only thing you can change, as I load the sound of the stream, the thing you can change in the IR18 is the ARBs, the weight jacker, and there's other stuff. But those are the two main tools that we have at our disposal to affect the behavior of the car. But sadly, for the DW12 and the IR5, which are the two predecessors of the IR18, we cannot change those settings. So that means we're completely stuck with what is on the base setup. Now, no matter what would have happened with the setup of the other one, if we had access to those tools, it would have been make our life much more easier. Second of all, even though you did an oopsie, I would say that we also had sometimes with the setup, we could have maybe... I mean, I even had... I should have asked more, because sometimes I feel like, is this really Lewis's set? Is this really the one we used for CIs? Because... And I didn't bother checking further, even though I had some doubts. So that can also be fall on me, because I actually run with the setup before. Now coming to this race, so the setups for this race were the one we used, the Team VOR used for the classic IndyCar series, which is one of the more prestigious IndyCars, as you said, IndyCar leagues. We had a whole month to prepare for that race. We built multiple servos to both qualify and race, and we really struggled with those. We really struggled. All the sets we used for qualifying and the race were made last minute. Like Lewis's set that I keep mentioning in the chat, he posted the morning of the race, and I did some running, and yeah, we gave it green light, and we had like, I think, how many, like 6, 7 qualifying setup, 5 or 4 race setups. So yeah, sadly you picked the second to last version, the one before Lewis, where I actually noticed that it was possible with the tools to run the whole fuel load, and I actually did 40 laps when practicing, but because the back end was stepping out so much, you had to lift up the throttle so much that, yeah, at the end I did 40 laps. So this is pretty much the situation of this race. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is. And I hope I explained it good for the ones watching.
Well, I understood it, that when I'm broadcasting I lose all my brain cells, so I think you're good. So yeah, whilst I've got you up here, I know that this race wasn't exactly the easiest one for you, finishing in P9. I don't know how many laps down. Let me check that. That is
a lot.
Yes, I can
Too
see
many.
it. Too many. But in the time that you did run this until... well, actually, I think I should let you talk about this. So until the thing happens, please tell me how your race went.
I mean, at first it was going well. I mean, I was 6 when I crashed, and I mean, I still don't understand what had happened, and I know that it was Craig Forsyth and Oscar Fredrickson, and those guys are top class drivers in the VOR series, and I know that, yeah, if this happened to them, then wow, like, yeah, they must have been really caught by surprise. But yeah, the race was kind of good. I really struggled to follow the draft, though. This is my big weaknesses on ovals. I really struggled to follow the draft, but it was going actually kind of well. I mean, not pitting for that first caution was actually a good choice, and I decided on the second caution, well, I decided we have 2 sets of tires, and they die in around 10 laps or so. So I decided, yeah, let's pit for tires and do, like, if there's a caution, when you reach around the 20 lap mark in the stint, you pit.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's it.
Okay, I was just making sure. All right, well, yeah. I mean, I wish I could talk more about your race, but until that,
Yeah, there's not a lot of to talk about.
there's not much. To
Yeah, I'm seeing Discord like yeah, Gary, that setup, yeah, that setup was heck. Uh, Also, one thing was to mention, the track was 40 degrees Celsius the whole day. There wasn't a lot of clouds, and for sea ice, we were really lucky, and we had low temperatures. Like, we had 37, 38 degrees.
Right. Well, thanks for all the insight. Hopefully, tomorrow's race at Charlotte goes a lot better for you and the entire
I mean,
team.
I'm not there tomorrow. I have a Formula Renault 3.5 league race, and I'm actually competing for Rookie of the Year, so Rookie of the Season.
Well, if you didn't say that part, I would have said Christmas Cup more important. But never mind that. Go for the year title. You should get it.
Yeah, I should get it. I'm pretty good in the standings right now.
Perfect. Well, before I let you go, feel free to shout any people out.
Well, shout out to James Watson, the team owner, of course. I'm always glad to be racing for Team Watson Racing. Shout out to Pat Silvazzi for coming into the chat and cheering me on, and also my sister also, because she also came in to cheer me on, and that's pretty nice from them. Shout out to National Racing Network, MTWR Loan Company, and Martin Sports for sponsoring Team Watson Racing. Make sure to check them out. And also shout out to you for for bringing all this stuff together for this league. And it's really tough being the only admin, so this is why I decided not to completely go into a tantrum of rage, even though... No, let's not replace Watkins Glen, shall we?
Perfect. Well, I'm gonna let you go, and good luck with that Formula Renault League tomorrow. Go get the Rookie of the Year title.
Thank you. Take care.
You too, buddy. All right. So that was Seb Kinder, who gave us some good insight on the in-car adjustments for the IndyCar, which is actually something I forgot to bring up. So that's an oopsie on my part again, but at least Seb covered it for us. So it's time to bring in the actual top 3 finishers now, if we can. So could you let me look on Discord? So Cameron Baustian, we're gonna bring him in first. Cameron, congratulations on your first ever podium in VOR. It was an interesting race, to say the least.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was definitely a challenge. That setup was pretty tough, and I felt like it would definitely kick sideways there a little bit, and predicting it was a challenge.
Yeah, so we saw a lot of people struggle with getting loose already after a few laps in the beginning of the race, which is actually something I noticed relatively late. But it proved to be a very big challenge with a lot of people making mistakes, but you were up there all race long. You did actually get damage somewhere, but the most important thing about your race is you kept running and got the car to a podium. So, yeah. Feel free to make any other comments on that. I think I just summed it up perfectly myself, but...
yeah, I appreciate it. It's I felt like it was a really interesting race. As you mentioned, one of the main things about it is just surviving, making sure that you make it to the end. Had a little bit of damage there, but it wasn't really too significant. And it really just seemed like as we were going through the corner, it would kick sideways a little bit earlier and earlier in the corner as the run went on, which was the first couple times it did it. It was really surprising. And then once we got the hang of it, it was a little bit easier to predict that. But every once in a while, it would just catch me by surprise. But I was somehow able to manage there, and glad to get a podium from it.
Right, perfect. I wish I could give you a better interview, but there's literally nothing to really talk about. So, hopefully,
no worries.
Your next podium comes soon enough so we can have a proper interview or actually get to ask you proper questions. But in the meantime, though, go out to celebrate this one. Actually, before I let you go, feel free to give any shout-outs to any people or sponsors out there.
Just shout out to my team at Turn 4 Racing. It's been excellent racing with them, and also shout out to Alex for an excellent win.
All right, perfect. So like I said, go out to celebrate P3 and get back here tomorrow for Charlotte.
Hey, that sounds like a plan. Good to be here.
Perfect. All right, see you tomorrow, man. So that was Cameron Baustian finishing in P2. P3, sorry, let's bring in the man that finished P2, Charles Baldwin. Hello to you, sir.
Hello.
So, I mentioned this to Cameron, and I will bring this up with Alex too. It was a very interesting race, to say the least. With the tires falling off very quickly, with the wrong setup on the car as well, which was, of course, a big mistake. But made for an interesting race. You held on to the car to finish in P2. Just tell us about your race.
Oh, it was definitely a crazy one coming from the back. The tires, like you said, were terrible on the long run. It was very scary. I had a few snaps that I didn't know how I saved it, but just held on to it in the end.
Well, I'm not sure what I should ask you as well, so I will just keep this one short, I guess. Tomorrow we go to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, which will be the first cookie cutter of the season, I do think. But it's going to be an interesting race nonetheless. I've tested the setup for it and it's actually good there. Don't worry about the tires this time. But it will be a big pack race, so just please tell me your thoughts on the Charlotte Motor Speedway Oval.
Well, I've never raced these cars there, but I hope it's a good race, fun, clean.
Alright, cool. So before I let you go and celebrate P2, feel free to share any shoutouts.
Just everyone that was here in the Discord channel, just having a laugh.
Perfect. So see you tomorrow for round 4. Yes, round 4 at Charlotte.
See ya.
See ya. So, that's going to wrap up the podium. Let's bring in the race winner now. Alex Van der Sand, hello.
Hi.
Long time no see, eh?
Yeah, no, it's been a bit for this series.
Yeah, so of course the first 2 races didn't exactly go to plan, but well, neither did this one, to be honest. But you came out on top, which is why you've been in the last 2 seasons in the main series. So yeah, congratulations on the win. Just tell us about the race for us, please.
Yeah, the car was evil. There's not much more to it than that. After you could start to feel it, like the rear stepping out a little bit after 5 laps, but after 10, it was pretty much undrivable. A lot of people got caught out. I was just able to keep it under me more than the others, and that's all it came down to, really. But yeah, just kept, tried to survive. Played around a little bit with the strategy at the start, like I did fuel only for the first stop, and regretted that pretty quickly. But in the end, it more or less worked out, and got the win.
So we gave you guys that competition caution towards the end, because I actually felt really bad for you guys trying to nurse the cars to the finish, so that's why I threw it. But so you were one of the only cars then that actually still had tires left for that pit stop, is that correct?
No, I think the others had tires. A lot of people were doing fuel only. For some of them, just because like everybody knew you had to manage them quite a bit. So I know Charles did, and I'm pretty sure Gary did, and I assume Cam did as well. But yeah, I mean, even then, they're only going to save you for like 5 laps, and at the end we had lighter fuel too, which I think a big part of it was the fuel burning off and raising up the rear, and so that affects the cross weight and all that mess, and that just makes the oversteer worse. So later on, even if you got fresh tires, it's just going to start breaking loose even earlier. So, it did. But yeah, I'm just glad we didn't have the green flag stops, because I'm not sure those would have gone very well at all.
I think that would have ended in about the whole field going into the pit attenuator there, but. It's not been a bad few weeks of racing for you. You've won the title in the main series. You've won the ERL League title as well. So what do you think you can do here in the Christmas Cup?
Yeah, well, I'm unfortunately going to have to miss a couple races, so I don't think I can make a run at the championship. But, I'm just here to have fun, drive a different car and, win some races maybe. Well, so that's checked off, I guess. Yeah, I'll just... do my best in all these races. My goal is to just not qualify each race and then see how far up I can finish, which worked very well for Pocono. And I had a shot at the win at Phoenix, you saw, but Netcode decided otherwise. But yeah, just gonna see what I can do, keep sharp, and get ready for next year.
All right, perfect. So before I let you go, feel free to put out any shoutouts.
Yeah, just general thanks to my usual sponsors, elmseeger.com and Race First Broadcasting, and thank you to you for putting on this really fun series during the off seasons.
It's no problem at all. So hopefully see you tomorrow for round 4 at Charlotte.
Yep, see you there.
So that's gonna wrap up the show for us tonight in what has been a poop show. I wanted to use a different word, but everybody knows what I'm trying to say here. So yeah, it's been an interesting one, like all the drivers summed up, like I've summed up countless times already. But yeah, mistakes happen, so I apologize to all the drivers, all the viewers as well, because it simply wasn't the race that we all expected. But that's just how it goes sometimes. So tomorrow we have the Charlotte Motor Speedway coming up for round 4 of the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup, before a 4-day break until Nashville. And then we have Autocross Speedway to round off the season, going into the 2005 series schedule, which is based off the 2005 series in real life. We have Homestead, Phoenix, Indianapolis, Texas, and Richmond, before a mid-season, move over to Nashville again, before we go to Michigan, Kentucky, Iowa, which is a substitute for Pikes Peak, and of course Autocross Speedway, which is a regular round on our schedule. So with that, I would like to thank everybody for watching once again, all the sponsors, Apex Stage Coaching. I will play a commercial when I go off here, but check them out as well for sure. If you want to get better on the iRacing IndyCar, check it out, and yeah, tell them that you are from VOR, by the way. They will give you a discount. But that's gonna wrap it up for real. So see you all tomorrow for round 4 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.